one Lego car, so I'm totally a car guy. So, F1. It was alright. I liked it. It stars Brad Pitt playing the same character like always again. An old school, rough and tumble dude. Think Cliff Booth from Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. And it stars some other dude. I forgot his name. So, if you really like Formula One, you'll really love this film. Because this movie is just Formula One propaganda. See, I knew nothing about Formula One going into this, and I still don't. And so following the rules and stuff, I had no idea what was going on half the time. But I was still engaged, even if the story is cliched as hell. It's a very well done, well shot, well made sports film. And I think a lot of people will love that. And you should definitely go watch it, since it's technically is an original movie, even if it is based off an existing IP like Formula One. But it all just comes together like so seamlessly, even if it is like really cliched. What I loved the most were the racing sequences. Like, those were really, really well shot, well edited, well done. And I think what they did, I saw a few behind the scenes videos, but it seems like they shrunk down. No, they didn't shrink. They just took the FX3 sensor and just slapped it onto like the smallest possible body, and then just put those on the cars, which it came out incredible. Like the car cinematography in this is some of the best I've ever seen. And this is pretty much the same team behind Top Gun Maverick, and you can see that in the way they shot the racing sequences, like squeezing these tiny little cameras into the pilot's chair, or I guess the driver's chair in this one. For Top Gun, I'm pretty sure they used Venice 2s in Rialto mode, and even Rialto modes can be pretty big. You can really feel the intensity, even when they have the helmets on. You can see like their sweat, their panic, their nervousness, everything. It's a lot of great facial acting from Brad Pitt and that other dude, I forgot his name. And while Top Gun was just military propaganda, this one's Formula One propaganda, which I feel is not as big of a deal in today's world. I mean, Top Gun Maverick I liked. It was a great film. I feel like this one is a few notches below Top Gun Maverick. What really holds this one back is just how cliche and overdone the story is, and in particular the character of Brad Pitt, who's like this old school nomad, does things his own way. I guess kind of like Maverick. I guess this is kind of just Top Gun Maverick, but with race cars. And I would have loved to have seen something not necessarily different, but more interesting. Like maybe at the end, he actually celebrates the race win or something. I don't know. Because he doesn't even want to touch the trophy. I don't know the rules or how Formula One works, so I'm not sure how accurate the film portrays that is, or how legal, I guess, or Brad Pitt's strategies are in the race. Like, I feel like if other racers did what Brad Pitt does in this film, they'd be like instantly disqualified. I think they even point that out in the film. But again, I don't watch Formula One, so I wouldn't know. But even me knowing nothing about Formula One or racing in general, I was still like at the edge of my seat, just watching these racing sequences, like biting my nails, like, oh my god, what's happening? Who's gonna win? What's gonna happen next? Another great aspect about this film was the score. Now, I don't particularly remember a specific piece of music or a specific title, but I do remember watching the film and the score doing its job really well. Like, it elevated the scenes more, emotionally, I'd say. And the film absolutely did not feel its length. The pacing was just fine throughout. Maybe I think in the Las Vegas sequence, it slowed down a bit, and then I was like, let's pick up the chase, I'd say. There were some weird, I don't know, cuts, editing moments here and there. I guess those are just bound to happen on a film of this scale, where not everything is shot and cut perfectly. It just took me out of it, but maybe I just noticed that more because I live and breathe this stuff. It's not really a complaint, more like I was just thinking, like, with the amount of mess ups that happen between Brad Pitt and his partner, you'd think they'd fire one of them at some point, but they just kept them on. And it seems like Brad Pitt was doing really well without his main partner. Like, it's little story things like that, where it just makes you question things. But again, I don't know how Formula 1 works. The supporting cast was great. I think the standout was the mom. Like, she had a big scene in the hospital, and like, you really felt the anger and tears behind their emotion. Javier Bardem was also really good, but when isn't he good? And then there's this one girl character, I forgot who she was. She's one of the pit stop mechanics, and like, again, I don't know how Formula 1 works. I feel like she messed up big time, and like, shouldn't you get fired for that? Like, there's little intricacies here and there where Brad Pitt calls out his partner like, no, you made a mistake in that pit stop. But it seems like the mechanic like dropped the tool or something, so I'm like, okay, who made the mistake? I guess that's kind of the point of the film, where it's like the team is just a mess. And I'd say the biggest flaw of this film is just how cliche it is. Like, we kind of, going in, you kind of already know what's gonna happen. Like, once the main premise is set up in the first 20 minutes, you're like, okay, we all know where this is gonna go. But it's still really well done. Now, personally, me, I probably won't go out of my way to watch this again. Because first of all, I'm not a Formula 1 fan. This film is like candy. You watch it, it's really good, and you get what you need out of it. I'd say Top Gun Maverick is the better film of the two. Like, I could definitely see myself rewatching Top Gun. I think the narrative in that one, while still cliche to an extent, it still tried to be new towards the end and do something different. And then the scene with Val Kilmer was just really, really beautifully done. And there's really nothing like that in this film. Like, you watch it, it's great, you're on the edge of your seat, Brad Pitt wins, spoiler alert, like, come on, we all know Brad Pitt's gonna win. And the end, like, that's the movie. I think I gave this like a 7 on Letterboxd, which, it's only been a day, but I think that's where I'll keep it. But all in all, I'd say check it out, especially if you have A-list. It's a great film, great music, great story. Even the biggest downside is how cliche it is, and you know what's gonna happen. But sometimes you just want the really well-made, familiar McDonald's. Sorry, that's the best analogy I could come up with. But yeah, check it out.